Hey you guys, it's MJ from Ultra Love. How are you? I felt like going live because that is what I do every day, pretty much. So I'm wearing an Ultra Love sweatshirt, which is pretty awesome. I replaced it and shared the black one for a giveaway. Hey, Divine Sight. What? Yeah. The energies are feeling pretty intense. You guys know I did a couple shares of like hardcore cryings, and then I shared the kind of like the really deep old wounds, like karma stuff coming back. Hey Anna, how are you, my friend? So yeah, it's been like heavy duty, and then like sideline all of the like deep emotional transformation stuff with basically mega hot love vibrashe across the nation. Like last night I felt like I was tripping my balls off on ecstasy, completely sober, just like all right, this is it, it's time to get grounded. And that was really lucky because I did like grounding activities yesterday. I went to the beach with a friend, hung out with one of you guys who came around and helped me with the car, which was just the most badass, like also next level expansion of like internet community is real community. Because then also when people truly res with you and are helpful humans, they want to help, like sans agenda and stuff. You're just like, well, fantastic. You're not even expecting money from me. You just legit want to help. I'm like, yay. Yay. God, it makes the other, like it makes all the distorted codependency patterning so obvious as well. And here's the thing about self-responsibility is that I'm like, I see it. Like I can see how my wound like attracted the other wound, and then we wounded each other until our wounds were like eh! And then hopefully, fortunately, not hopefully, like I know it to be true, there's like this way inside ourselves to transform all of the icky feelings. Icky feelings that hold us as opposition to other. That's basically like a Course in Miracles, and a lot of the spiritual text is ultimately dealing with the hard feelings inside, grievances it's called in A Course in Miracles, like holding grudges, holding on to grievance, holding on to unforgiveness, basically anything that deflects the pain that we feel inside. And I know it's tricky. I think about some of the situations I've been in the past few years where people have attacked my work, and I've, of course, sat with that and worked inside myself to be like, okay, like, I don't know how people interpret the book. I don't feel like it's... But then there again, it sort of comes down to, but I also guess, like, regardless of what you do, if you're hanging around with people that are belittling your work and tearing you down and basically saying like, so big deal and stuff, and you feel it like it, then that's not good energy. That's not, they might tell you they're no, they support you, but then they're like, well then, how come you don't appreciate the work that I do, And then in that regard, when there's twisty lies, it's usually because there's resentment or bitterness or jealousy that the other doesn't want to have to like own up to in themselves. And so you guys are meeting me at this time of real breakthrough. Well, last year was the breakdown. Whole lifetime was just perpetual breakdown. I'm like, and as intense as it still is, the flip of the world's perspective is that I'm actually like free and enjoying life, not giving a ass about other people's judgments and opinions of me, and ultimately that's liberation. I don't want to go around like hurting people. I don't want to no. That's like this whole thing is what I do. It's all for like we can actually heal our pain inside so that empaths don't have to go around trying to fix everybody's pain, unconsciously speaking, to just placate their wounds and just like, oh, I just ignore my wounds and go around pretending to fix everybody else's until you die or almost die and go, wait a minute, something's up. Because healing truly is an inside job. Good food can help. Jennifer! Yes, she got. Jennifer, I was thinking about you this morning. I was like, I have to message you back because I appreciated the feedback, basically. Mega Hat Love Bush. Welcome to Ultra Love TV. So so Mega Hat Love Vibrashe. That is all. Yeah, so as I continue to meet more of you guys around the world, and here's the legit truth, and like so reflective and I guess affirmative, is meeting a few more of you now where you're like, literally you say the shit that I've been thinking all my life. And I'm like, I know. That's pretty much why I started the YouTube channel. I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's other people thinking it that like, fuck it, I'm just gonna start talking about this shit, like I need to like express, I don't want to go around pointing fingers and attacking people and breaking up communities and any of that shit. I don't want to fight with people whatsoever, but there's like this little part of me that's like, what's actually fucking going on, people? And I'm pretty sure it's all right here, in the Fearless Life Guide, me working that out, and I'm like, wait a minute, fear is only something that we feel. It's not like there's this fear out there. We're like, where is it? Right? Like the fear, if we're talking about fear or talking about any other experiential state, it's experienced inside the self, which means everything is inside the self, which means if we want to transform fear, we're not going to transform the fear by running around attacking it outside of self. That's just going like, that's just creating more like attacky vibration. The fear and the hatred and the contempt is something we have to heal within our hearts. Like literally, legit. People, we can talk about all the different causes, and we can go around blaming different presidences or you know what I mean, leaders and stuff. We can go around pointing those fingers, but clearly they're further down. They're way further out, guys. Like they're so deep in the distortion that it's like they need our help. Except I'm all about myself. Sort of, but not really. That's impossible pretty much because all is one. I'm going back through, you guys. You got some sunshine. Yeah, I did, but I also am doing a glycolic peel. But I did get some sun because I went outside yesterday, but then I also did glycolic peel. I've got a festival, you guys, and you guys know this. I'm vain. But there's the discernment. I'm aware of it, and I express it, so it doesn't, like, take over my life, if you know what I mean. But the reason my face is red is because I've put acid on it. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed of my vanity, but, like, I don't care. All day. Zombie Kush. Sounds like some sort of green plant I was gonna say green plant disease, but I'm like, no, it's not that at all. Do I say, like, I know, like, I think? But, like, I don't really know, but, like, totally, I do know. Like, I know exactly, but, like, I have no idea. That's pretty much, like, the life. Like, I'm fully, like, in my knowing presence, and this is legit the truth, but I have, like, no idea what's going on whatsoever. But I do know that, like, all of this is, like... But this is also, like, the intuitive's life. People were like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know, but I know. It's invisible to you. I'm aware of that. But increasingly, it's less and less and less invisible to me. Like, most of my life, I've been chasing something invisible. You were like, hey, yeah, paradigm shift, well done, Molly. Or people that, when you start going into the abstract or even law of attraction teachings, and then people have cognitive dissonance for various reasons, and I'm actually kind of Like, it doesn't matter if people have cognitive dissonance, it's a good thing. I think of it as like, you know, when you do a yoga pose and you start to quiver because you guys just come here, hang out. Or like, guys, so what grade herb you smoking? I'm like, guys. No, listen, look at me. Be like, yeah, bring it. Okay, what was I gonna say? So cognitive dissonance, this is something just intuitively coming through right now. Cognitive dissonance is like the wiring of the brain in similar respect to like when you do a stretch in yoga poses and you start to kind of edge to the limit, you get this like uncontrollable shake. And that's the nervous system being like, huh? Like trying to send the signals to the muscles. They're just like, but it's also the body's way of being like, back off. Like, please don't push me. So the shaking of the like the muscles in the nervous system, yeah, like rock climbing, any sort of deep intense sport will challenge the body in that regard. Now, again, it's not good or bad. It's just when we're challenging ourselves, you know, we're expanding our nervous system when we hit up against that and when we explore those edges in the body. But in a way, I'm like, that's like cognitive dissonance in the brain. People's brains, like the wires aren't linking, hence they're just like they like frazzled as far as, excuse me, what, like beyond the veil, what are you talking about? Yeah, and people don't necessarily, but it would appear that they're like, we're here, and like a lot, you know, these ideas of paradigm shift and these ideas of spiritual awakening are getting more normal, just like yoga has been increasingly getting more popular and normal for like forever, right? Oh, beautiful. Staying in the shake is an intense release of the nervous system. Amazing work can be done in that. Yeah, and I feel like there it is and can be quite an emotional release potentially as well. Yeah, interesting. I love that. And I would love to learn more with you at the studio at some point when I can. I'm intending to go to Dallas for a little bit, you guys, and do some work with Divine Sight. Go deeper into my practice. Because that's interesting to me, because I love that threshold. But in my awareness in teaching, I'm like, but you don't need to push into that. But I'm suddenly now like, ooh, in that space. And then what deeper, it is a challenge to allow, but what I'm getting is it's something to do with trauma release or whatever. It's like there can be actual, like, because I'm almost getting emotional imagining the embodiment of that. Like they're like, it could potentially release. I'm thinking about a couple clients who are dealing with trauma, and I'm like, that it could be a way to amplify. It is trauma release. Sweet. Okay, and that regards, I mean, there's some local yoga teachers now doing this. I just, you know, if I can just be really fucking straight, legit, I'm dealing with my own shit right now, and I'm not particularly having a desire to go back into, like, the yoga community that I used to be. Like, it doesn't feel in harmony with me, you know? And I guess that's part of why I've broken free to do like online work, is like Trey, Divine Sight. Certainly that's what it's called here. It's like TRE, trauma release something, emotion, or the idea is that you're like shaking and then like certain parts of the body release. And I guess like because I've been through all of these different, like dabbled and like tried so many, and most I'd give sort of 5 to 10 tries to really get a sense of the therapy, like gong and flotation and tray and reflexology and craniosacral therapy and kinesiology and just straight up spiritual healing with random healers and emotion code and gene keys and QHHT, and I'm sure the list could go on and on and on and on. And eventually for me, what happens in even like the healing industry, like yoga industry, healing industry, is you're still anchored in the 3D paradigm, seeking the healing outside of self. And I guess maybe that's why, like, in a way, what I'm talking about in the Fearless Life Guide, either people don't get, they reject, they laugh at, they belittle, and or I'm just like, but it's the legit truth. It means that you don't need to go outside of self to heal. What I'm saying in the Fearless Life Guide is that contained within the emotional field, in the light of your awareness, is as deep as you need to go to do all the healing you could ever need. Because it gives you the awareness and the fearlessness to embody the truth of your being. Because anytime that we're seeking a healed state externally, we're still unhealed. We're still carrying the belief of the unhealed state. This is what yoga is talking about when it talks about self-study. Self-study is, perhaps in my awareness in the Western world, but even probably in India, we talk about the yamas and the niyamas, but we don't probably practice them. Why? Because we're too damn busy trying to survive, right? People are too busy trying to perform their egoic function in a fucking narcissistic systematic world. So like taking time to reflect on the self, taking time to reflect on my past, here now, on like the movement of where I'm going, taking time to just feel and question and self-inquire. What is this practice? What is this moment? What is this existence? And that is something that I find gets missed a lot, is that everybody just goes, just do down dog and breathe, or and I don't need to take the piss out of this stuff, because it's not my intention. I really truly believe every single being and every single spark of light has its function in this evolving reality. I guess I'm healing. I guess it's just being in the moment. Mwah. I love you guys. I love you guys. It is just being in the moment. It's just being with where you are and breathing into it, And I guess part of me softening, like being able to have love and compassion for myself right now, is like, it's okay. I'm still healing. Like, I'm still healing these deeper layers of abuse. And like, there's resentment in me and bitterness and a little bit of, because part of my wounding was being kind of cast aside. And I'm not blaming people. I'm not saying that these people cast me aside, or that this yoga community was super harsh to me, or nothing like that. This was all inside myself. I fled. Why? Because I must have been going through some big karmic shift, I fled. I felt that I was being like, we don't fucking give a shit about you, or like, because you're not going to be bendy and do yoga for us, we don't want to support you in your new career, right? Or we don't want to hear what you have to say. And I was just like, I need to leave, and I felt compromised, even in this yoga industry, right? My soul felt compromised. And so I left, and now I'm still healing the kind of residue of that persecution wound, or like betrayal wound, or again, that like ostracization, where it's like, you're fine with keeping your mouth shut and doing down dog, but we don't want to hear what you actually have to say. And you're like, oh, right. So I'm just supposed to abide and listen to the Indian gurus who taught me, right? Like, I'm just supposed to follow the form and not question, not do yoga, which is self-inquiry, which is self-study. That, if we miss that link, we're just doing functional anatomy. We're just good stuff at that. Don't get me wrong. Like, there are amazing practitioners doing amazing things all over the world. And asana and deep breath work and meditation, it's all part of it, and all golden nuggets of wisdom that is helping us transform. Because I'll share that when I was 19, I got into Bikram yoga. Now Bikram yoga is the mega hot yoga. Oh my, that is what I'm running into now. Got there, fun. Yeah, perfect. That's what you want, Elle, for sure. When you're already aligned and in tune and authentic. And this, I love this. Sometimes the healers can use healing too. Perpetual. I think this is part of like, this is all part of the expression, is to like embody the ever evolving state. Embody the like for me yesterday, one of you a few days ago, you reached out, you're like, I want to help you out. I can help you out in your car. Of course, I was in that state where the moment this person said, hey, I want to help, I break down, and I can feel the emotions still residue. I think a lot of us got used to like not asking for help, like just like having to like do it all on yourself and da da da. And I'm proud of myself. Again, love and compassion. I'm not. Ugh. Um. Yeah, love and compassion. Like it's okay that we did the things that we did and how we did them. But yesterday I opened myself and I allowed myself to like get some help from people, and it felt so good. Like it felt so good. But not coming from a place of neediness. That's the difference. I was coming from a place of deep wounded unworthiness, going around to all these different people being like, "Can you help me? Can you fix me? Can you give me the secret? Can you tell me how to heal?" And then they would help and they would assist and they would help me grow, and then eventually I'd still have to go, "Yeah, but you have to do it. You have to become the state that you're desiring." At some point, any of us, whether we're doing a yoga teacher training, whether we're doing a healing course, whether we're doing a counseling course, whether whatever we're doing, all the textbooks and all the externalized teachings are still always going to lead you back to you, and this is just, and apparently it requires quite a lot of courage. Apparently people don't do it out of fear, and I'm bored of that. I'm like, come on people, let's go to that next level. Let's break out of that conformity. Let's stop the fucking bullshit. Let's call out the elephant in the room. We need to fucking get real here. We need to really open our hearts and start to get real and navigate conversations that uplift all of us, that allow all of us the opportunity to heal, not just the fucking privileged few, not just the people that can afford all these sweet things and do all these sweet things. And this is receive, this is part of like that. And I feel it from some of you guys showing up, like that sisterhood and that brotherhood of like, come on, keep going. Like, we got this. We're so fucking close. It's imminent. It's imminent that we're going to start to feel the floodgates coming in. And yeah, I did. I received yesterday, and it was spot on. Like, you'll know who you are when if you tune into this. And easy energy, all pure transparent energy, like no, and healing, like because of the nature of this connection. It's like people finding the whether intuitive reading, the yoga, or the coaching. When you're finding me via the YouTube platform, it's like legit resonant connection of peeling back layers, right? And so when I get to meet some of you in person, it's just reflections and clearing. It's just love. It's just non-judgment, right? So and like, this is the stuff. This is the stuff, right? Because I'm like, all the people in the world that are hiding in the shadows because they have been again pushed aside, cast aside, demonized, ostracized, and because of all the multi-layered sort of deceptions and smoke and mirrors of the systems, we so easily just attack one another. We so easily embody fear and then project the fear onto one another, just instead of holding space and realizing that the most of us are just cracking open right now. The most of us are just cracking open and going, oh my God, what is this? What am I doing? And then having memory downloads and having realizations of how abandoned we've been and how we've abandoned ourselves and how we denied the truth of our child. We denied the truth of our heart. We sold out. That's hard stuff to integrate. Some of the control patterns that I've integrated around power and sexuality, like it's not comfortable. This is why I'll just go on, and this is why it's absolutely true. We need each other. You don't need me as your healer. It's just reflections, right? We need one another as our witness. We need one another to be heard. Like and like emosh, but like I consider myself at this point just so blessed. Randomly created a job for myself because I just needed to share what was going on inside. And like, it's been 7 years that I've been sharing on YouTube. It took fucking 6 years of really regular sharing to see like a boost where I was like, ah, ah, you guys, there's something happening to the YouTube, like, you know, and that was just enough to kind of keep going, right? We can be each other's sounding boards for sure. Hello, Savita. Elf, elf. It is now moving into our true powers. That's it. True powers, and then the witness. We can bear witness. That's the silent witness is all the light of the awareness, I would say, like, as in the silent witness, that is the light of your awareness, which is the light of the awareness which shines down all of the veils. And the veils get lifted when we allow ourselves to hold space for triggers rather than just have that initial reactive knee-jerk reaction. It's literally that moment that if we can just that we can start to hold space for the rage, anger, heat, and that's when you start to notice that there is alchemy. There's something going on in the body, and it makes perfect sense to me. If there is a controller system, you create the wound, and then you shame the access to the freedom. So our ability to create freedom for ourselves is our ability to feel it all. That's certainly my story and my direct experience. This is what I'm here to share, right? Yeah, we can completely trust. But it's the emotional field that has been shamed. That's what everybody's running away from. But it's our emotional body that is the gateway to emancipation and freedom. But of course, that's the most shame. It's great to be smart and intellectual, right? It's great to be sexy in your physical body or whatever. But emotional, not so much. There's like a very limited like happiness, and there's a very limited threshold for what we encapsulate as like socially acceptable emotions, right? That's why people get sad, they take a few days off work and they get medicated to keep going, or they have to take time off, and it's this whole big taboo. God, the amount of people that I've met who are either on medication or seeing a psychiatrist regularly, and then they book sessions with me because they're too ashamed that they can't even tell their fucking family. They're holding so much, they can't tell their besties, they can't tell their friends. Why? Because they're so ashamed. I'm ashamed of the fact that I have to go to a psychiatrist every week. I'm ashamed of having to I'm in hiding booking sessions with you, you know. My husband doesn't know. It's that kind of shit. This is how deep in we're in. As far as we need to start breaking through those layers of shame, and we need to keep permission to one another to step into your freedom, to step into your glory, to step into your kingdom. Nobody around you is gonna do it, and that is the biggest kind of clincher. No one's coming for us, and no one is ultimately gonna save us. At this point though, what I can honestly say is my legit real experience is that finally there's people reaching out. I'm not expecting anybody to save me. I'm not expecting anybody to pay my rent or but I really, really, really fucking appreciate you guys showing up here. And those of you who send the odd donation, and those of you who book sessions, and those that I'm really fucking grateful, and I will continue to be grateful. And I don't care if you can pay or not, like, I will be your friend and I will be here for you. But what I'm feeling right now is that we're starting to wake up enough that we're reaching our hands out. I don't need to fucking keep talking, but I want to reach the hand out and be like, I'm here for you. I might not have millions of pounds in the bank to buy you a new house or, you know, whatever, but my heart is here for you. I can listen. You know, sometimes it's just like, that's like a golden wisdom nugget that my intuitive mother who was depressed most of my upbringing, and I resonated with the person I met yesterday with memory codes and the darkness of the mothers being taken away to the psychiatric wards because they're just too damn emotional, right? And I forgot what I was gonna say. My mom, it was something about her wisdom that she shared. It doesn't matter. It'll come back to me. Savita, I feel like you've managed to, yes, we can trust. Yay. Yes, I caught that a bit, and I felt it, and then Alf affirmed it, and Savita's received. So thank you. Thank you guys for supporting each other and loving one another. Mm-hmm. What I have to give freely without expectations. Indeed, indeed. I feel that for most of us, like we do, that's our natural set point. For a lot of us, I think weirdly, like the flip as well is making sure we're really looking after number one. That sounds, oh my god, how weird is that? That sounds so like 3D reality. Guys, just look out for number one. Except from the heart, love, vibration of compassion, I'm like, me looking out for number one, I'm pretty sure is me looking out for everybody. As in, if I just keep being like, no, I don't need your guys' help. No, I'm gonna do this all to love thing all of myself. Like, fuck you guys. I'm pretty sure it would work. I'm pretty sure the global love movement would be limited to MJ's bedroom. But now, there's loving renegades all over the world being like, we feel you. We know what you're talking about. LOL, always, exactly. Otherwise, you'll always step in number two. Which we can all testify to, exactly, right? Like, just, if you're not loving the self, you're literally just being shat on. I don't know if that's anything legit, but that's what came out of my mouth. I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to it, you guys. What is that, Divine? There are no others, right? Oh God, right. And you guys are good reminders for me. Kill the fear. Ugh. Well, the fear will keep coming. You just got to keep sitting with it and transform it. Keep letting those fears come up and keep transforming them here now. Remember, everything that we feel is always a kind of backlog of emotional momentum. But we can always stop it in its tracks in the here now presence with the light of our awareness, just witnessing the energetic veils being moving through. That's like the waves, right? The waves, and energetically speaking, in the paradox, are the waves of density control patterns being lifted out of the field of the body, so that we can, once the body's veil is clear, we start to perceive much more, yeah, like expanded higher consciousness vibration. Love and compassion, you guys. And another version of self. Oh yes, unity. And then Heath, you got Heath's another one here. He's not here because he's away, but that's the thing about like the self and the one, but coming from the heart of humanity versus the egoic projection and then seeking. So you start to do all this healing, eventually very really like all the energies like healing into the heart space, and that's where your biofeedback resonance is. The mind starts to heal because the heart can feel the disparity of low vibrational thought that's connected to those other based from the heart. In the heart of the unity, of course, there's only one self, one mind, one Christ, right? So it's like vibrating in the heart field ultimately transforms all separation consciousness, allows us to unify, and ultimately, yes, then we're divine. Then we're moving in that divine right action, which a lot of us, guys, I know we're having this conversation in 2019, but I totally res that most of us have actually been heart-based for our whole lives. Which is how we all feel into and understand one another, and also are in alignment with paradigm shift. This is why we're here. It wasn't ever to like fit in. And I know we know the inspirational quotes or whatever, but I'm like, I think that's why there's a lot of like emotional relief right now, because like, especially like the last 6 months, I was like, all of us, I think a lot of us got blindsided with just the depth of like either financial crash or relationship shit or eviction, cars being taken away with it. Like dream shattered. You're like, why bother? And like it kind of came out of nowhere, but not. And now that it's kind of lifting out, I'm like, holy shaz, you guys, like what the actual. But now I'm like, okay, it's regrounding. I just had to have a few more ego deaths before I could just be vulnerable enough to receive help. And then that was my mantra. I'm open to receive my love. Because there's only mine. Because there's only one. There's no other. So I'm like, instead of projecting and externalizing your love and thinking you need to find love outside of self, just think, Molly, MJ, you've been just giving your love away to all these people around the world your whole life. Why don't you just take a chill and let yourself receive the love that you've been giving out? I'm like, okay, I'll buy one of my own sweatshirts and I'll make the fucking profit out of it. No, but for real. You guys like? I like it. Modern day leadership. This is my bedroom. I'm not gonna show you like the actual sleeping area, because I'm like embarrassed of its disgustingness. But in fairness, I'm going away in like 5 days, so it's one of those like things of like, I can't be bothered to do a whole row of washing when you're like, I've only got like 3 more days. I can hold out in the little gray patch that I've created because I've been sleeping here so much. But yeah, the Portugal trip's gonna be amazing. Nice. I will pay myself to attend my own classes. Exactly. This is it. But we all know this. Any of the lady bosses out there, I'm like, there's no separation. Divine sight feels me on that. Like being on the divine guided path, like legit. Pure heart, love, vibrashe. Being like, okay, I have no idea how, and like you end up like just, but then in this new cycle phase, we're anchoring in like the legit manifestation, and I'm like, oh my god, all these ideas are all co-creative and they're all being birthed now because the real ones are connecting in to birth the grassroots movement. And then all of the movements start to align and co-create, because the paradigm shift to me has been seeded since the dawn of existence, because it is the binary function of the solar system and this earth realm. Why do I start talking about this stuff? I feel like this is some element to like part of the collective who totally vibrates on this level, because it's helping us to understand in the abstract the function of our placements, why we're in places where we are, there'll be stronghold, new paradigm or paradigm shift energy strongholds all over the world, and a lot of us are just going to keep connecting them, as we continue to evolve our own practices and as we continue to evolve our own worlds. I can feel it, I can sense it, that the resources for new paradigm creators and leaders are going to start to flood in, because there's more work to be done, and we know we can feel it, that we're on the precipice of that, and hence we've had to anchor in all this sovereignty and integrity. I'm thinking about my journey where I'm like, yeah, I had to learn all the lessons I had to learn, because ain't nobody gonna fuck with this, like I've had enough people smoke and mirror me, dangle fucking big old paychecks in my face, and make promises about this, that, and the other, and I've had to just intuitive sword has come down every time. Because most people would just see money signs, wanting to make money out of me. And then eventually the intuitive sword would be like, oh, that's not what this movement is about, my friend. And I've just had to keep bottoming out financially, be like, what is life? But you get to these different points, you're like, holy shit, how did I do that? You just keep creating, right? You just keep creating, and the creations keep following you through, You just don't have, it's just not controlled. It's not like 6 years ago or whenever I started writing and blogging on altalove.com. I was like, I know, I'm going to create the 4 pillars of Be Change online courses. I'm going to write a book called The Fearless Life Guide. I'm going to have besties and friends. I'm going to work on this YouTube channel. Like, I didn't have it all mapped out. I was just like, I should make a website. And all I knew was that I didn't want the website to be my name. I was like, no. And I didn't want it to be just a yoga thing. I didn't want to be limited to like Mali yoga or whatever. I was like, I needed to be global. I'm like, what is... And then the person I was dating at the time, the beautiful musician, and I would recommend checking out his music. It's really good. So All to Love is an actual EP that he wrote, and and then produced it, and I was like, All to Love. I was like, dude, I want it. Can I have All to Love on my website? And he was like, yeah, sure. So yeah, that's a little bit of the story of how that came about. And yeah, so that is all. I didn't plan to own a studio. No, Divine Sight, like our vibrashe as well. Like I didn't plan on being a yoga teacher, like ever. Even when even like mid teaching of my yoga career, I'm like, really? Okay, I'll just keep showing up here. I mean, it was lovely. I very much enjoyed the yoga, like all of the yoga for sure. I just never planned my career. Although I now can look back and be like, there were definitely some intentions, though. The master creators are here. No! I love you guys. I didn't plan to own a studio. It just happened. In a 4-hour span, and I opened a week later. Yeah, and that is a perfect little nugget of Divine Sight of manifestation, right? I didn't, like, when I think I've told you guys this story in brief, but, like, when I got my call to Bali, it was a totally, so I made the decision to go to Bali because somebody messaged me, and I felt a very powerful surge to connect this person, but more importantly, to go to Bali. I had 4 months. I dissolved the relationship with a gorgeous musician, and I booked my ticket to Bali, and then I contacted this person who contacted me years ago about I UNPLUG and doing this kind of business deal and helping me and being a backer and all that kind of shit. And between then, and I didn't know when I booked my ticket to Bali, I didn't know that I was going to publish a book. I didn't know that I was going to be setting off in this like online career. I just knew that I wasn't going back to teaching yoga the way I was teaching it, and that yes, I wanted to be able to sell products online and have a freedom lifestyle. It was that kind of 3D, simple, cut dry, that's what I want to do. As it turned out, I ended up writing the Fearless Life Guide in Bali. And the person who asked me to go to Bali, that was the beginning of my like torment of working out all of my unconscious projection of men and the masculine. So all that kind of male narcissistic stuff, womanizer. You know, somebody messaged me and I dissolved a pretty good 4-year relationship. And then 2 weeks before going to Bali, this person just was like, you're really fucking weird. I want nothing to do with you. And I was like, because I was in my ego thinking like, oh, I'm going to work online and make love to the man and meet the man of my dreams in Bali. Of course, it was the most earth-shattering, deeply embarrassing thing that probably I've ever gone through. And then at that point I was totally like in this vortexual stew of ungroundedness, running for my life, running from one person to the next. Can you help? Can you help? Can you help? Can you help? I was poor. I was attracting narcissists left, right, and center because I was clearly desperate to survive. You know, it wasn't, and then betrayal, deception, lies, like all this gossip, you know, so I'm like all like innocently excited about publishing my book, and then all these people start tearing me down, like people that used to come to my yoga classes, and they're like, who does she think she is? How dare she publish a fucking, or how dare she talk about emotions? She's not a clinical therapist, or she's not a blah blah boo boo, and then smiling to my face when they see me in the street, and I'm just like, fuck all y'all, you know, like and not fuck all y'all at all. Like, again, it's always coming back to love and compassion. That's the point. That's why I share so much. I'm like, that is the legit practice. I have nothing but love. I just don't want to hang out increasingly with people that are holding on to a lot of judgment and fear and complaining and moaning and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, manifestation, you guys. It's not obvious. It's not straightforward. The divine path, like the divine guided path, is like opposite. It's like, or there's no logic in that linearity sense when it comes to manifestation. Oh, hi, Mike. Hello, my friend. I did see you there, by the way. I totally saw you that. Nice to see you, my friend. Shall we pull a card? Is that all? Do you guys want to talk about anything else? I don't know. Let's do an Osho. Let's do an Osho quick one for the day, the night, wherever you are. We did it. We got through a major upheaval. We just got through a major wave. We've now set the intention. Oh yeah, so love and compassion leads. So that's what I was also getting, you guys, was last night. Did I tell you this? This was right at the beginning of the share. Last night I was getting this download and I was literally feeling like high on pills. Sober, of course. Like, just felt these surges and I could hear it in my mind. I was like, this is it. Now, this is why we're starting to connect. The energies are only going to get higher and higher. And I knew this when I was writing the Fearless Life Guide, and I could feel it intuitively when I kept having these vibrational shifts in my awareness. That was like the point of us being able to connect right now, is that the vibration, as they get higher, we've been so used to vibrating on a certain bandwidth that now that as they go higher, we need one another to stay grounded. Because like walking around like you're high and smacked out on pills is not particularly functional. So we need one another to help practice getting used to vibrating higher, which I don't know exactly how it looks, but I know that being in community and being in nature is super duper important for us. Hence why I don't know how this is going to happen, you guys, but a lot of us are going to be guided to land, and a lot of us who have studios or doing work in urban environments, you're going to expand. You're going to have to expand because this awakening isn't going away. More and more people are going to start to awaken, and they're going to be looking for us, okay? Like, they're going to be looking for your light because their soul knows how to sort this out, but their head doesn't. Their head's totally fucked. So, and their heart, you know, the energy body is what's being corrupted here, not anything else. Yeah, blah, blah. Listen to me. This card is coming up a lot. This is, I could just do this from myself. But this is probably relevant to you guys because of how we resonate together, is dropping the fight. And for me personally, this is about disentangling. Makes me want to cry, but I'm disentangling my connection to the system. So I'm not going to fight the system anymore. I'm going to love it. I'm going to disentangle all my energy cords that are attached to this system because I'm tired of giving it my power. I'm tired of pretending like there's this big bad system that's out to get us all. No, fuck you. No, we're done. We're done. I broke up with you a long time ago. And now it's like just ready to let it go. Patience has come through. This is an annoying reading. I wish I wasn't doing it. So stop the fight and be patient. Just one more card. Tarot. The Tarot. Yeah, this is really relevant. This is really relevant to where I feel you, Chic. I know you do. I know you guys get that, right? We're ready to break. We're ready to... Basically, it's like, let's just go have fun. You guys just want to go have fun? Yeah, okay, let's play. You know, I'll come over there. You guys come over here. We'll keep manifesting money to share the wealth with each other so that we can survive and not have to be fucking slaves. And then play, have fun, cry, laugh, bare feet on the ground, skinny dipping in freshwater lakes, and you know, like, Jesus Christ, remember the things you do when you're little and then you get told that you can't be that anymore, and so we're all like, okay, let's try to squeeze ourselves in and be serious adults and work and really hard and be dicks to each other. Like, that's life. So yeah, this is our ultimate love. It's patience, you guys. It's like this. I'm sure there's a little LOA like thing about this, but manifestations like this, I want to have a baby. It's like knowing that you're pregnant, but not seeing the actual bump. You're like, where's the fucking baby? It's like, it's just inside you. It's gonna just be a little time before it pops out of your vagina. But I want it now! Like, no, you have to just sit there pretty like the goddess queen that she is. Because this woman don't worry about nothing. It's kind of like, A Course in Miracles, Teacher of God can worry and worry without anxiety. That's the depth of trust that we embody here. And I'm finding that increasingly easier to embody the trust vibe bush because I have little ego left and because the control patterns have been dissolved. When you fully anchor in and heal those core wounds, the ones that literally just like and like wash you clean, once you heal those, there's no going back. And then you're just in the perpetual flow of trust, and every little emotional upheaval shows you something else that's like releasing from your field, and you're just like, okay. And then like manifestation is just this totally like divine, miraculous thing. And then limitation doesn't hold you, it doesn't know how to hold on. Yeah, when they run, you slow down. I love it. I love it. I love it. Patience and tolerance. Patience and tolerance. And then moment to moment. I feel like a lot of us are in this. We do that, right? Moment to moment. Like, we live there. We do that. We're good. You guys, we're good. I'm very aware of that. Like, all of our tribal soul families are like, unity, love. We're like, no. We don't really want to hang out with that tribe over there. We just like each other. But that's sovereignty and diversity. You know, that's what this new paradigm is all about. It's not about like sunshine and rainbows. It's about legit vibrashe. I'm like, you guys can go do that stuff over there. It's not really my thing. Right? And like those people do those things, not my thing. And we can just, but hence why so many of us need to get right down into that authenticity vibe, because then we can't find each other to up level and have loads more fun. If I was like trying to be something else, or like trying to manipulate you guys, it wouldn't be fucking fun for me. Clearly. That's why I do what I do, because I'm like, I'm gonna die over there trying to be like, hit. And I'm like, if I'm having fun being myself, then the other people who naturally find me are gonna get me, and then we can have a lot of fun together. No, I know, I'm not drunk. No, could you imagine if I was drunk although it could be like I'm drunk from the night before, right? Oh no. I haven't been drunk. The last time I was like drunk was my 30th birthday. And I was vomiting in my kitchen at 2 in the morning after somebody gave me a shot of Jägermeister, and that was like it for me. It was like, I can't do this to myself anymore. It's not fun. It's not fun. Here I am, like, getting ready to go to the yoga retreat the next day, and I'm like, and this is after, wait for it, a pint of beer and a shot of Jägermeister. And then me vomiting, being like, I don't think I can drink alcohol anymore. I think my body's had enough. And then I just become a chronic pot smoker instead. What? It's better. It was better than the other, so, you know, we're good to go. But yeah, alcohol was never like fun. You know how like people are like, oh, let's have a glass of wine. I'm like, yeah, okay, have a glass of wine. Like, and drunk blackout. They're like, what happened to you last night? I'm like, I don't know. I woke up in a bush somewhere. Like, fuck. No jacket, no wallet, nothing. I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck is alcohol doing to me? I mean, we can noodle into that. We could noodle into that loads, but that's a long time ago now in my awareness. And you know, ultimately showing up at the yoga retreat was my like lifeline to not destroy myself with drugs and alcohol. Plant medicine, I think, is a much safer activity. Personally, my personal preference. I'm, you know, I align with that versus the other, which is like wild lettuce. Chewbacca, you're badass, my friend. Ooh, Tiki Love L8. I loved surfer dudes on acid. You know, that's just making me think I'm going to spend the summer in Portugal. You know, after the shits that I've been through, I'm not even gonna lie about the fact that I'm excited about it. I'm excited that I'm single for the first time since I'm like fucking 16. And like legit, you know, single where I'm like, I'm not going back. I'm not gonna reattach myself. I'm not gonna feel guilty. I'm not gonna go back and like worry about the guy I used to date 6 months ago or 12 years ago or what have you. I'm like, okay, MJ, you are allowed to do whatever you want. In integrity, of course, from divine law, because that's how I roll. I'm like, I don't want to do anything out of integrity because it would only hurt myself. But I'm like, I get to go, what did you say? It was something about surfer dudes, and I'm like, oh, Oh yeah, I'm going to Portugal for 4 weeks. Boom. Yeah. Boom. And I'm going to do yoga and I'm going to have a community there. And I'm just like, oh my God, thank you, life. Because to be honest, if you were to see the little brown patch on this bed of mine, that's what happens. When one, you do burnout, and then two, you're healing from aeons of fucking suppression. There might be a point in your life where you just need to pretty much sleep for 6 months. Sorry, not 6 weeks. Yeah, 6 months. But then I grew up with mama who was depressed for years and years and years and years, you know? So, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then I was thinking basically about like the cannabis versus the hot surfer butt vibrashe. Oh my God. Although I've got to say, one thing for me that I've learned, and this is just from a bit of my traveling, is that arrogant, womanizing surfers are not fun. You know, and men who aren't in tune with their feelings are not so much fun. You know, although I'm beautifully, I can see the balance coming into my reality now, especially after my friend came and helped out yesterday. I was like, yes, I have a very balanced, like, you guys, this is a balanced community, boys and girls alike, lots of different ages. My inner circle, friendship circle, is a totally balanced boy and girl, and I'm like, yay, that's representative to me of healing the mother-father wound and coming into integrity and unity. I'm like, yes. And I can see as well, I'm starting to crack open and have so much more compassion. I'm realizing that, oh, I can feel it. So, and this is like that, the polarity of being like a feminist for so long is that, and we women can help, obviously, when we continue to heal ourselves. Is that part of the next wave of like collective healing is helping one another heal, just like through feeling and expressing and stuff. And like, I'm aware that the emotional wounding that a lot of men are carrying is so fucking painful. I know in the gender divide is an illusion, and ultimately, and like the reality is that like men have been absolutely brutalized by the world, and they're in pain, you know. So much fucking pain. Sorry, I didn't see this coming. So like, there's a lot. Yeah, the big love. There's. And like, our generation of men are still carrying the wounds of all the wars that they've had to fight. And all these men that are shooting each other and violent and explosive, and they're being incarcerated, they're hurting so bad. And yeah. And we're still on the battlefield, I know. Okay. And my blessing is that I see the waves being that the women have had to step up to heal, to turn around, and to create space for the men to heal. Me too. That's precisely exactly what I've seen as well. And these are just the waves coming through us, and for us to finally be in this space to open. I've not been able to be in this space. I've still been having to work with my mistrust and my hatred towards them, and peel back the veil of delusion around that. That's programming. Our hatred and mistrust to men is the Catholic Church, is the Vatican program. Via the denial wound, via the black hole some, but our brothers and sisters alike, we've all been wounded, right? It's not us against them. And we do know this, but we had to go through a few gates of our own distortion to get to this point of healing, right? Compassion, even after broken hearts. Massive. This is why I feel sometimes so like a desire need to express, even for people that I know they might hold judgment against, or they might perceive my action as unforgiving or mean or narcissistic or rude, is that, but my practice is to always come back to compassion. I'm always thankful for my lessons with people. And if anything, I'd prefer not to have labels. I don't want to have to label people as, oh yeah, the nurse, this, or like it. Labeling is more just pointing fingers, right? But I don't know. It makes sense to me. All the men who have abused me were wounded themselves. Totally. This is the point of, for me anyway, having this conversation. I'm like, is it just me, or are we all still fucking wounded? You know, like some of the most quote unquote impressive yogis that I've met in this world, and I'm talking like I'm not naming names here, but like, you know, merging into that kind of like world of celebrity yoga, and I've met these people where they're the duality and the shadow, the kind of stuff that comes out is so extreme that it would be like, oh my god, like they're not at all who they say they are. They're not at all what they. And then I've also met the other, you know, like I've also met the genuine, legit peeps as well. So I know it's all out there, right? Soldiers are 100% duped. This is what I mean about it's like all this pain has been. Okay, and this is where it's subtle. It's discerning in the energies. We are not to blame, but we are responsible. Because the reality is just finding that center witness point, finding that light of your awareness, and every fear and every darkness, you stand it down. This is the point of like that expression of, you devil, get thee behind me. It's only ever in my energy. You know, we talk about, you know, I've shared with you guys this disparity, my collections, my bank, you know, damn near having to declare bankruptcy this year, just holding on after traveling to Indonesia to give money I raised to my family in Lombok, you know, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna see this through. I'm gonna see this bottoming out phase right through, and we don't often, you know, we don't often realize the depth of the work that we're doing until much later on, when it starts to make manifest. Soldiers are duped. Right. And there's a it's part of the veil, it's part of the distraction, teetering on the edge of bankruptcy now. Yeah. So and okay, so we're talking about the external circumstance, right? But it's the feelings that we are addressing inside the self. It's the sitting with the trigger point of fuck, you know, that energy, and right in that moment going, I see you, fear. I see that, because that's our entanglement to the system. Those are our cords that are attached to the banking system. This is what I talk about, soul contract revocation, which I can share with you if I get in touch or put you in touch with the lady who I did it with. Soul contract revocation is that we disengage our contracts with the banking system, the government systems, right? Because so that they can have no power. If essentially it's a ceremony to empower, you are the true power, not that. And the recent like visions that I'm seeing is it actual clearing the cords of entanglement, of they have power over structure, because we know the divine. That's the point of connecting at this point. We know the fucking divine. The fucking divine. I can't even say that in truth. I'm like, it's not the fucking divine, you guys. It's the divine. Like, divine law reigns supreme. Intuition reigns supreme. You know? Man-made law is like, all you have to do is be like, flick. Oh, it's not even there anymore. I know! It was an illusion. People use it to siphon our energy. And it's not even like it's the money. The money is another illusion. It's the spiritual warfare beyond the veil that's going on that is mega dark and disgustor. It's corrupted in a very cunning way, right? Because even the economy, it's all just made up as a way for these beings in this galaxy to siphon the energy of humanity. So everyone like going to church and like going to school and making money and like even talking about money, it's all just a way for like the controller energy to be like, because the beings that are doing that can't vibrate on higher levels because of just their beingness. I have love for the Greys and the beings that live on that frequency. They have a place in the universe and in this galaxy, okay? They're not inherently good or bad or whatever. They just can't rise themselves up. And so there's an element of like, yeah, parasitic energy. You know, it all exists. It's all in existence in this great universe, right? We just have to not be blinded by the 3D reality. I'm like, guys, there's a whole big old story going on. And once we expand it, you know, we're good to go. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the legit truth. There are, like, it's all nothing but love. It's all held in love. But now the Earth, a ascension timeline grid or whatever, the Earth is moving into a greater expansive light in her trajectory. So we're now moving into the binary solar system, which is amplifying the Earth's radio, you know, like frequencies, and we're along for the ride. And the energies of the Greys are the energies of the controller, like the Saturn grid is what I think Fifth talks about it, but like that grid is dissolving because the Earth is moving into a portion of her movement where that frequency doesn't exist anymore. That frequency dies out. That frequency sheds because she's moving into higher frequencies. Pardon me. And we're choosing that because of where we come from in our universal travels. Right? So for a lot of us, it's just the fact that our soul and the memory of our soul has a certain set of vibrations, which is how we all like vibrate together. There's certainly for me a resonance with like the wanderer energy. I feel like a lot of us are wanderers, like a lot of us are kind of free souls who just like wander the universes, like create universes and stuff. So there's quite a lot of like sovereignty, divinity here, you know? It's to do with the soul's expansion. And like I think a lot of us have been holding space for Earth like for aeons in infinity. We're an aspect of its creative vortex, right? Otherwise we wouldn't be here. So there's great love and compassion for the rising of the humanity here on this planet, because it's a beautiful thing. If you think about the stories they've been telling, and now we move into this where like they merge into this greater loving capacity, you're like, wow, what a beautiful story. Yay, oh my god, how lovely. Okay, yeah, but off we go. Right? Elf, yeah, I can totally feel that. I do feel it with a lot. Like I do think that there's the call out. That's why it's a fairly teeny tiny, it's a killer story we wrote. I know. It's fucking epic, and here we are living it. We're living that regenesis story, you know? And I know it's getting better and better and better for a lot of us. And we're shedding a lot, but the congregation and us meeting in these spaces is really, really important for a lot of us because we've been to the edge, i.e. finding other lady boss people who are like holding it together, but then going, yeah, we're all dealing with this bottoming out, the tide being pulled out. All of my financial attachments to my old life are being ripped out from my life. I just now am on the other side of some of that and hella excited to be here. Hella excited to be here. Because it's like the freedom life is here. It's not millions of pounds, but it's enough that I can pack up my car and go to Portugal and not worry about it. Plus, Volkswagen, I don't have to pay the big car people £200 a month anymore. What? You're actually doing me a service! And in fairness, I've lapsed on payments for about like 7 months. So like, I'm like, I kind of saved myself anyway. Actually, yeah, the money that I would have been in arrears to pay my finance off is basically the money I used to buy a new car. And the new car has room for me to sleep in the back. So I can fully live like a nomadic lifestyle. Hey E, how are you? I actually don't know how I'm doing this live share right now because I'm sure my phone said I had no data left this morning. And like I literally today's purchases are between buying more data and buying myself one of those like jet boil things for camping. Because you guys know that I choose not to live without the old cofferoonie. So I'm... And then Heath, one of you guys, my friends, told me to buy one of these things, this jet boil. And it's basically like, I know you guys are like, you're such a douche. I'm like, but it's cool. I'm new to this kind of stuff. But it's like, I'm trying to remember what I was about to say. Jet boil, jet boil. Oh, it's a thing that boils water. It's like a portable camping device thing that I can just like light it, makes fire, but easy modern person fire. And then, yeah, and then it has a cup. So basically I can boil water and make myself some coffee when I'm on the road again. Going to Portugal by myself. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. But do you know what's really cool? There's been like a couple of you who have, one of my besties here and then one of you guys over there have been like, I'd be happy to like support you and help you on the drive, which I'm literally sitting with because now that I'm open to receive, I'm like, oh my God, I actually get to have help from people. Imagine that. Hey, Lorna. Lorna, you look familiar to me. But maybe just at quick glance, I'm like, oh, I know ye, but maybe I don't. Yeah, Lisbon's beautiful, isn't it? Portugal's a great place. I just love the vibrashe in Portugal. I a little bit prefer it to Spain personally, but that's just my preference. But it seems to be that over my lifetime, though, I've been guided to certain places, and I typically do. I don't know, like Portugal to me is a place that's going through regenesis. And they're ahead of the game, so they're like they've been bottoming out before, say, France and Germany and Spain. Although Spain was bottoming out again like 15 years ago, but there's just certain places that I'm attracted to. Morocco, Portugal is one of them. Like, and again, I'm feeling this incredible like, fuck, what's going on? Like, I feel like I might be being guided to Portugal as far as like living there, but I don't know. Like, this is why I'm sharing legit, is like I'm on the precipice of something and I have no idea what. And I'm at a point where I'm so used to having everything taken away. I'm just kind of at a point where like it would be really nice to be able to keep this flat. You know, never having really had a home of my own. It'd be really nice to just be able to keep this place and not have to move again, because I've moved like, can't even fucking count it at this point. I moved so much that I'm just like, the thought of uprooting myself, I can't even go there ultimately. But at the same time, I know how it flows. When it's time to go, it's time to go. And when you're ready, it all just like aligns, right? So I'm just not thinking that far ahead. I'm thankful to be here, you guys. Same here. Been moving my entire life, yeah. Lilan. And this is part of it, I think, the wanderer energy. We've been being guided, like, the whole time, and we've had to kind of travel around, and that's part of the resonance, is that when you don't leave your kind of family pattern structure, if you never leave the kind of stronghold of family support, then there's a lot of life lessons that you don't learn, as far as like how to really stand on your own 2 feet in this world, like, and be the total sovereign self, not be bound to the conditions and limitations of the family that you grew up with, you know. And I see a lot of people limiting themselves because my family, well, my mom won't let me, my dad won't. I saw at university, you know, where my friends wanted to go here or do this, and they're like, yeah, but my dad won't let me. Like, there's the trap. Like, my mom and dad are paying for uni and they don't want me to go to this place, so I'm going to just stay closer to home. And as much as a lot of them talked about not believing in marriage or da-da-da-da-da, their parents wanted them to get married, so they're getting married and they're having kids, you know? So, and I can only observe. I can only observe and be myself, right? And be present with any of it and love people to the best of my ability and try not to get too emotional when I can feel people's pain body, you know. And just be sensitive to people and life in general. Blah blah blah. Like, just. Oh, flight attendant, brilliant. You've probably traveled the entire world. Although I don't know exactly, because I'm like, I know that different airlines probably go to different places and whatnot, but still. Yeah, that was always my bag as well. That was the thing of like saving money to buy stuff. I'm like, whenever I had enough money to buy a ticket, I'd be like, I'm off. Because I saw through the system, I'm like, I'm pretty sure working your whole life for a pension that may or may not exist is not the way. It's not the way, you guys. We are the world. We are the children. This is our card, you guys. There's the song that goes along with it, but I don't know it all. Private charter. Ooh. I don't know why I'm like, ooh, sexalicious. Private charter. Can you get one for the Alta Love crew? We could fly around a private plane and just have a big hot love vibrashe. And like sprinkle love dust all around the world and throw money down to people. Or resources or just love, you know. We are the children. We are the blah, 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 blah. I never know the lyrics. I'm gonna go, you guys. I'm hungry. I'm hungry, and it might even be close to that time. I've got one of my besties is coming over today, my friend Robin. He's coming over today. We're gonna go for a walk. I again just want to send my little thanks. I will message this person as well, but my thanks to my friend that came over yesterday to help me with the car. Made my day. And just generally, you guys, for being here. Ugh, I've been fasting. I was fasting. I've been not consciously hardcore fasting, but I tend to naturally have like 2 or 3 days in the month where I'm just like not eating very much. I'm not very hungry, right? Let's start giving. I know. Hey, Jessica. How are you, my friend? Jessica Pinkman, you had a tone in your voice. Interesting concept. Right there is our magic carpet for shizzles manizzles. We are the ones that make a brighter day, so let's start giving. And that's how we roll, right? It's easy for us. Like, it's easy. That's all we do naturally is giving. That's part of this weird shake-up in these last, like, 5 days. You guys will know as well, because some of you have actually reached out to, of, like, share, right? In integrity, not from the guilt wound. You know? These are discernments now that I'm finding. So I don't have to feel guilty to share stuff. I share because that's the natural way of being. It always has been. It's just making sure we're discerning who we're sharing with and giving to. But when we're sharing on flow, I think we're always sharing with the right people and legit truth. And then if there's like shit that comes up, that's just distortion and like trigger points to heal, basically. So you guys, let's just be honest. We're awesome. Life is awesome. And we're all magicians here. We're all magicians here. Exactly. Opening our hearts to mega hot love vibrashe. And then the hot love vibrashe makes life more fun for us to live, and then makes us better livers, and then in the better living state, we actually live in harmony with planet Earth. Which, like, that's why us all do. The only reason we're doing it is to play and have fun on Paradise. She knows it. We know it. We just have to keep living it so that our boses and our sisters keep waking up. And remember their divinity, so we don't have to, you know, keep fucking each other up the arsehole. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. I love you guys. Thanks. Monday's having a great time talking today. But you know what I mean. Yeah, you're worth it. I'm worth it. We're all fucking worth it for shizzles, manizzles. Like, we got this. Holy cow, do we got this. Holy cow. I love cows also. I'm vegan. I don't know if you know that, but yeah. You guys have a beautiful morning, day, afternoon, evening, sleep time, sweet dreams, my loves. I love you. I love you. I know, I need to stop talking because, like, near the end, I'm like, I'll do this and then literally be talking for another 20 minutes, but I'm not going to do that today, you guys. I'm actually going to go. Buy a sweatshirt. ultralove.com.